to kick things off in the Extreme Rules review with Miz and Dean Ambrose one-on-one Intercontinental title match. But if the Miz lost, or no, I should say,
hold on a second.
We fucked up already.
Yeah, we fucked up, and when you put that on there, I bet you got it when the sound of the table.
We're
That's
talking.
horrific.
We're talking.
You don't even have to pause it. Just let it go. We'll find out. We'll find it out later.
All right. First things first.
20 seconds into this.
Miz versus Ambrose for the Intercontinental title ended on a pinfall, almost a disqualification.
Surprisingly in a pinfall.
I know. What made me happy about this match was that it didn't end on the disqualification. I thought that was kind of cool. That was really one of the few things I liked about the match.
Overall, they teased it too.
Yeah, good match. I like the frequent takes it, like, oh, get him disqualified. Thought that was good. Other than that, decent match. That's all I really had to offer, was just a decent match.
Yeah, I thought it was a great match, especially for these two guys. They're not really delivering that great of matches on their own.
And their the complacentness of
Dean
Ambrose.
The complacentness of Dean Ambrose. Let's not mention that the Miz is in a hot spot right now. He's really working well with just about everyone.
Exactly.
He's got that little shooty thing going on where he kind of picks up everybody.
Yeah, exactly. He can float around anywhere. That's the best thing about the Miz.
Right now.
Yeah,
I think this is the top of his career. What's up next? The mixed
match?
tag
New Intercontinental Champion. We go to the mixed tag match, and it was a mixed tag match. It was exactly what everyone expected it to be. Sasha and Rich Swann go up. It was in Baltimore, and that's where Rich Swann's from. Really sad Noam Dar and Alicia Fox didn't pick up the win, but you know what?
Alicia Fox.
It was a mixed tag match.
You can't expect anything more than that.
After that, I believe we had our Elias Sampson quick song about how Baltimore was a sucky place to live.
The crap.
But yeah, no, it was good. I'm glad to see him on the card. I'm glad to see he's, moving around. I like him. I think he's got a chance, but, there's only one way to tell, and that's just with time.
Out. Yeah.
After that, we had the rough Bayley versus Alexa Bliss match.
Oh, man.
So what kind of bothered me about this match was that it was a kendo stick on a pole match. And they kept emphasizing that she was legal with the kendo stick. Now, I didn't really like it because I feel like once you climb the pole, if you grab the kendo stick, it's your kendo stick. It's not free play. Why put it on the pole in the first place?
Yeah, no, what they were talking about the entire time was you own the kendo stick from that point on, right? So essentially what was implied is if this person has a kendo stick, that's theirs. They grabbed it, the other person can't use it, but that didn't really seem to be what happened during the match.
And I think that's a cool concept, too. If, you get something, it's yours. It's part of your arsenal for the match now. The other person can't use it.
Not to mention that the on a pole match is kind of a, let's not say tired, but definitely not the most popular match stipulation you can find nowadays.
There was no reason to throw it on a pole in the first place. The whole match, just bad build-up. The Bayley This Is Your Life segment wasn't a good segment. I just think you want to hype up an Extreme Rules match. I think you need to bring the build-up to the Extreme, too, as well, not just like a minimal.
No, I agree to that. I will say that as far as a storytelling perspective, we definitely saw Bayley's character grow. I think that's what this match was more about than anything else.
Like she's gonna take that next step.
Yeah. So the whole thing is Bayley able to do this extreme thing, and we saw she can't. So I think that we can probably see,
she's hesitant.
We can probably see this going on later, where she's probably gonna at some point she's gonna snap and she's gonna do it.
Push herself.
Yeah, and they're hoping for a big crowd pop, and maybe she'll win the title, and who knows what happens.
That's what Bayley needs, though, is more character.
We'll talk about that later.
She's just a one-dimensional character, in my opinion. But all right, cool. Next we go on to the Hardys and versus Cesaro, or what's the other name? Cesaro? No, you flip it. There's another one.
Caesars?
Caesars. The Hardys versus Caesars. For the Raw Tag Team Championships in a very weird steel cage match with no pinfalls, and apparently you can re-enter the match once you've already escaped the cage.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know, I just thought it was a weird match. I thought, first person out of the cage, they win. That's how it should have been. Even if not, Jeff Hardy shouldn't be able to just re-enter the match and change the course of the match completely after he's already exited the ring. But, I don't know, overall it was a good match, a lot of good use of the cage, but at the end of the day, I just thought that using the door was weird. I just thought the climbing over the cage, exiting, and coming back in was
Makes
weird.
no sense.
It set
the purpose.
It set up for a cool 2-on-1 situation for Matt Hardy, but in the end, it wasn't used properly, in my opinion.
Good spot by Jeff Hardy, though. Very ballsy, yet again. I mean, it's expected of having a steel cage, but he's getting up there in the age, so
yeah,
good to see him still doing that, I guess.
Jumping around. And we had the Cruiserweight title match, decent match, Neville versus Austin Aries. Austin Aries had the submission outside the ring, got Neville to tap out outside the ring, but didn't end, doesn't work that way.
Another one of these situations where the rules are kind of murky in these matches.
There was a count out.
Yeah,
I thought a submission match is the only way to win is a submission. Why are you counting people out?
Yeah.
That's my question to that. Why are you starting a count out if it's the only way to win is by submission? And why are you doing rope breaks? Why is there a disqualification in a match where there's the only way to win? They say it in the intro, the only way to win is by submission.
Maybe it wouldn't be considered a win. Maybe it's a no contest in that situation. If there's a count out or if there's something, it's just a no contest and there's no winner. Right?
I don't like that. The only way to win is by submission. But in the end, Neville hits a nasty red arrow from under Austin Aries' back straight into the Rings of Saturn / Batista bite. It's the Batista bite.
The Rings of Saturn. It's established.
Ugh, I don't know. Batista was a pretty nasty around WrestleMania 26. And finally, we finished off with the Fatal 5-Way Extreme Rules match, which had its good moments. It was a good Fatal 5-Way match. It didn't just seem like a bunch of series of one-on-one matches over and over again, which can be a tendency with triple threats and Fatal 4-Ways. It just kind of gets boring. But overall, good match. Couple good spots. Seth Rollins, the frog splash on the Bray Wyatt. Going through the barricade. I think it was Finn Balor and Samoa Joe going through the barricade.
Yeah.
Nice little show-off between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Teasing,
I think.
Yeah.
We think.
We're believers in a future rivalry between these two guys right now.
But in the end, Samoa Joe got the Coquina Clutch in on Finn Balor.
Which is a surprise to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone thought Finn Balor or Seth Rollins would walk out with that one. But, cool. I like surprises. I'll take it.
In my opinion, it makes Great Balls of Fire a must-watch pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolute dream match come to life. Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at Great Balls of Fire.
Well.
Absolutely. No chance Samoa Joe wins.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
My argument is Braun Strowman is coming back within, a month, 2 months. Braun Strowman versus Samoa Joe at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam.
No, but you can have Brock Lesnar win it back at some point. He doesn't have the dates to appear that often, does he?
Well, I know this is his last year on the contract, and I'm pretty sure it's more dates than it has been previously. Well, think about it. Great Balls of Fire comes up July 24th or something like that.
Yeah.
So that leaves about 1 month until SummerSlam. So I don't think it's logical to say Samoa Joe wins the title and then loses to Brock Lesnar again within that span of 1 month. We're not going to see Brock Lesnar on any of those Raws probably until the one before SummerSlam.
That's what I'm saying.
So at the end of the day, Samoa Joe, one-hit wonder versus Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. Cool match. I wish there was a little more to it, but I'm excited about it. I say Samoa Joe puts up a fight, but I think at the end it's going to be pretty much Brock Lesnar running right through Samoa Joe.
Arguably, that's his biggest fight thus far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I think the most matched fight. I think it will be exciting. Basically, in TNA, Samoa Joe ran right through people like Brock Lesnar did.
Yeah, exactly. He was the Brock Lesnar of TNA, arguably speaking.
Did he have every title?
That was Kurt Angle.
I swear, he had a bunch of titles. I remember it. Yeah, I'm not saying Kurt Angle. How do you win every title?
You're the biggest guy in the company by far and away.
It's like when Lashley won the X Division title and gave it. I was like, I don't want it. I don't even need it. I want it.
That's what they were trying to do, though. I think they were trying to recreate a little Kurt Angle magic with Brock Lesnar, and I'm not even sure, by the way, if it was a popular thing to happen to just have Kurt Angle come in and just destroy everybody with his.
He did it in ECW too, didn't he?
Did he?
And I remember like in late 2006 when we had the ECW.
Yeah, he got drafted, right, to ECW.
Yeah, and he had the mouthpieces at ECW. I'm pretty sure he just steamrolled through people, which is so funny. It's just everyone's like trying to use steel chairs, and Kurt Angle's like grabbing them, suplexing, just running a train on these guys that cannot wrestle to save their lives.
That's what he does.
So, final prediction, I'm definitely saying Brock Lesnar runs right through Samoa Joe at Great Balls of Fire,
He puts up a fight.
and we get a Braun Strowman return the night after Great Balls of Fire.
Do you think he interrupts the match?
No, I think it's going to be a pretty... Oh, you could say...
Because he's got to return on Brock. He can't return...
No, he's got to return on Roman.
Oh, you think they still got to...
Yeah, they still have to have the ambulance match. But remember they were supposed to have that ambulance match at Extreme Rules tonight, but he ended up getting injured, so they nixed it. But I think there's definitely can't finish... They have to finish that Roman Reigns feud before they start the Brock Lesnar-Strowman feud, which makes me think, could Strowman be ready for Great Balls of Fire? I doubt it, because I saw a picture on Instagram the other day of his whole tricep was just bruised from recovery and surgery and stuff. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be around for Great Balls of Fire. I think he's probably going to be around through about a month before SummerSlam, which makes me curious. How do they set up that Lesnar-Reigns match for SummerSlam? I mean, that Lesnar-Strowman match for SummerSlam. Maybe the Monday Night Raw after Great Balls of Fire.
We're going to have some big Raws, I think.
Big Raws, definitely. I think June, July is going to be some big impactful Raws.
Really make him work for those 3 hours, right?
Literally. I hate that. All right, so we'll say final prediction. Samoa Joe
takes the L.
Yeah. All right, let's go down the card of what we think Great Balls of Fire could potentially look like. The coolest name ever. That commercial was so awesome with the drive-in.
I'm glad they put in the song.
Right? Yeah. That's what I said. As I said, I Will Survive to be the theme song of Survivor Series. I got all my life to live. It'd be so good.
It would. I wouldn't doubt him doing it now that I saw this.
Oh, what did I want? Oh, I wanted the I Can't See Me Loving Nobody But You.
For what?
For Extreme Rules. Because you remember that Dead Rising 2 commercial where it was like him and he had like the big gun and the hammer and he was just running through zombies. He was just running through zombies to that song by the Turtles.
By the Turtles? I have no clue what you're talking about.
Ugh. Alright,
fine. Let's move on to the card.
Alright, I'm gonna say we're gonna get Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. I think that awkward rivalry that started is gonna pick up right again. It only makes sense.
Okay.
Definitely probably gonna say either we get a Reigns-Strowman match. If not, Reigns-Rollins seems like probably the go-to, since I'm assuming neither of these guys might not have a spot on the card right now.
Yeah. We had that tease in the...
Yeah, the little face-off and the punches. They wrestled last week on Raw.
Maybe we shouldn't call it a tease, but definitely a face-off.
Yeah, awesome match on Raw last week. Roman beating Rollins clean. So maybe Seth has some unfinished business there, wants to, even the odds. I think it's 1-1 now against them.
Okay.
Rollins beat him clean. Remember that pedigree at Money in the Bank into the spear?
Yeah.
So that put Rollins up 1. And they may have had a match before. I'm not 100% sure, but I think...
Keep the series. Maybe it's a long-range rivalry.
Only we're the ones in the WWE are the ones that see it.
Exactly. We're just playing it out.
Yeah, it'll come out. And then I'm going to assume we're going to get some sort of Hardy's, Cesaro, Sazis tag team title rematch with a stipulation, maybe a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh, you think they're putting a stipulation into it?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a regular tag match. The steel cage match ended funky that they're going to be like, there needs to be a clear winner, 2 out of 3 falls. I'm picturing it being a 2 out of 3 falls match, lumberjack match, or a elimination match. I can't see it going any other way.
Okay.
Oh, are they in Texas?
Yes.
It's in Dallas, yep, or a Texas Tornado match. Or a rope match. First ever, maybe tag team rope match would be cool.
A lot of tangling up. They're not going to get anywhere with that one.
Oh, it'd be messier than that. Hanging up on the top of the cage sound. Matt Hardy almost landed on his head outside the ring.
Oh my god, that was awful. All right, keep going.
Probably Bayley, Alexa rematch. Like you said, we're going to get that character development in Bayley. I can't really picture any other match right now for Alexa Bliss. Sasha Banks has her weird thing in the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, baffled.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we're going to get more Bayley, Alexa, see that more character development with Bayley, really try to push herself more, push her limits, and become more of a WWE superstar and less of a fan.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They got to get rid of that. It's that thing where she's one-dimensional, right? So
Yeah,
she's always a nice guy who wants a hug. She's Apollo Crews, but somehow successful in the women's division.
That Apollo Crews drags you into the van.
And forces you to smile when you do.
I love that pairing of Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil. I love it.
It's really good.
It's like it's the happy dads.
It is, and it's because Titus O'Neil is a charismatic guy with not much ring talent, and then you have
the body.
It is the body. He's not limber.
No, not at all. But definitely, I'd like to see more to that going forward. Hopefully, it doesn't just end up in Apollo Crews turning on Titus O'Neil and pointless shitty mid card feud.
No.
But let's keep going.
Yes.
Miz defending the Intercontinental title somewhere at Great Balls of Fire. Any potential challengers for the Miz for you to think of besides Dean Ambrose right now going to Great Balls of Fire?
So, my thoughts, and I think we're just going to we're probably going to end up with a runoff from the people of the Fatal 5-Way. I think the Miz is probably one of those guys that could probably just fall into another rivalry pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll get Finn. Maybe he gets dragged into that Finn Wyatt thing. If we see Roman Reigns take on Strowman, we have Seth Rollins, who's free to kind of explore the mid-card thing. I can see him doing a good program with The Miz, too.
And he needs something. His face run is
exactly.
just awful ever since he's turned.
Yeah, and you can just see, like, I can picture The Miz, like, picking apart the fact that, like, Triple H was the one who handed Seth Rollins everything and doing that shooty thing he does.
Mm-hmm. And ever since he left Seth Rollins, he's been...
Exactly.
He hasn't been the same.
So,
cool. I dig that.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry.
I'm thinking outside the box.
Oh.
As I usually do.
Uh-huh.
I want to see I want to see Curtis Axel. I'm not going to get Curtis Axel. I already got my Curtis Axel Miz match. It was at, what was it? I think it was like Battleground 2013, whenever he was Intercontinental Champion. His prestigious Intercontinental title reign.
Prestigious.
I'm going to say something maybe obscure. Maybe like Big Show comes back, squeeze him in. No, he has one more year before. His contract expires after WrestleMania next year, I believe. Or no, that was his last WrestleMania, so I think this January it expires. Yeah, maybe someone like Big Show, running down the roster here. That's it. I think I'm gonna say Big Show versus The Miz at Great Balls of Fire for the Intercontinental Champion.
Okay. Do you see Goldust?
I see Goldust and R-Truth really picking up their rivalry starting this week. Maybe Goldust versus R-Truth kickoff of Great Balls of Fire, but I really don't see that rivalry culminating to anything at all.
I'm a Goldust guy. I really like him. I think his work is excellent. I would love to see him at least in the Intercontinental title picture one more time. Because he's heading into the sunset now, right? So,
yeah, this is the final movie, I think is what they said. But no, definitely. Goldust,
R-Truth.
I remember when he came back and had that match with Randy Orton to keep Cody Rhodes back.
Yeah.
That was an awesome match. I remember that. Ever since then, I think all of Goldust's work in the ring has just been
phenomenal.
Perfect, yeah, absolutely. So I'm hoping he definitely gets some sort of little run, but I really don't see his run with R-Truth cultivating to anything. Other than that, I think we might get a little revisit of the Dean Ambrose-Elias Sampson match we saw 2 weeks ago. They squeezed him on the pay-per-view tonight. Obviously, that means they have some plans for him going forward. He generated so much heat with the crowd with that song.
I saw that.
I can't imagine him not being featured on the Great Balls of Fire card.
Yeah, and I'll say this much. You definitely had a lot of other quote-unquote heel wrestlers come out and do similar spots to try to get that cheap heat, and they failed.
Mm-hmm.
So Elias Sampson clearly has something that makes people want to hate him, and that's a good thing. Whether it's cheap heat, whether it's anything like...
Take anything you can get.
Exactly. But he's doing it. He got it.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people might have not in that situation.
Yeah, a couple other stories we could visit on Monday Night Raw. Last week, Corey Graves received a text message.
The big mystery, right?
Yeah, Kurt Angle saying, "This could ruin me."
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about like what we think that could be. I've seen a lot of absolutely ridiculous stuff going around on the internet, but I'm thinking it's definitely involving Stephanie McMahon coming back to television. I can't imagine it being anything else. I'm pretty sure Stephanie and Kurt had a pretty big rivalry.
At one point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they did. But yeah, that would be something interesting to.
The Attitude Era is kind of a mess of everyone just bumping ugly. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking it has something to do with Stephanie McMahon coming back. I'm not really sure. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think that's something we don't get really often. It's like a whodunit or a mystery rivalry or what's going on. Like when we're out of the loop, I like it to feel like awkward, like we're not supposed to be listening to that. That's what I think is something that we don't really get. I think it's just a lot of grudge matches and a lot of grudge rivalries focusing on championships right now. So I think we're definitely missing like a
little wrestling mystery, right?
Yeah, little mysteries. And then we got the other one of who attacked Big Cass or who attacked Enzo.
Yeah. Which kind of intertwines with the whole thing.
Yeah, because Corey Graves, I saw something, is Corey Graves, or Kurt Angle had Corey Graves attack Enzo Amore, but the text message was that someone else saw Corey Graves attack Enzo Amore, and that's why it could ruin Kurt Angle.
Oh, I saw that Corey Graves is trying to take Monday Night Raw from Kurt Angle.
Oh, blackmail?
Yeah, like
I like
not
that.
even a blackmail, but he's like you don't watch Game of Thrones, but he's doing the little finger thing where he's trying to manipulate so he gets the power afterwards.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I think the first thing I said is a mess. It makes no sense, but I like that.
Yeah, so he's trying to get power. So when Stephanie McMahon comes back, she's gonna be like, "Kurt, what the hell is this?
I need someone else in charge."
Exactly.
Corey Graves steps in.
Because the show doesn't necessarily work with a face manager, right? So if the boss is a good guy,
yeah, definitely. I can't think of one good manager.
I mean, SmackDown's doing it, but
yeah, they got the Bro Show.
Yeah, but that's a really good dynamic somehow that they found.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it works on both shows. I think you need, especially with the brand split rivalry, I think you need one bad guy on top on one show, one good guy on top on the other show. I think that dynamic works perfectly.
Plus, SmackDown's the experimental show, right? So with Monday Night Raw, they're going to stick with the...
with what works.
Exactly. With the cookie cutter shit.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's what I think is going to be the big card for Great Balls of Fire. It seems like a good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It seems like we don't really know what's going to happen yet, which is cool. It could be a lot of different combinations. Probably won't find out till...
Deep roster.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about for Great Balls. The Cruiserweight title. Oh, so yeah. I believe Neville is officially done with Austin Aries.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It was a good rivalry. It was a long rivalry. It consisted of a lot of tag team matches.
It's WrestleMania now, so how many months has that been?
I liked it. I mean, overall, I thought it was a good rivalry. I was hoping it wouldn't drag on too long, and I think ending it here is a good
length,
right?
Call.
You know, clean win for Neville. Nasty, and I think it just leaves me the question: where does Austin Aries go from here? I can't see it going anywhere other than a heel turn on Jack Gallagher at some point.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just can't see Austin Aries just floating around the cruiserweight division as a good guy, as like a premier feature of the cruiserweight.
And you know, I was thinking about this, and this is a good segue into the other topic, which is 205 Live, right? So this whole rivalry, by any stretch of the imagination, you have Adrian Neville and you have Austin Aries, two great talents that should have been an excellent feud, but was built up, I think, in the wrong show. So we have that situation where 205 Live isn't necessarily the success that they were hoping it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this rivalry was probably meant to help legitimize the show a little bit, and I don't think they've achieved that with this.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what do you think about the argument that people say, oh, we put a show like this, a match like this on this show because we want to legitimize 205 Live. We want to get premier guys on 205 Live to get people to watch 205 Live.
It's a good idea. I just don't think it's... the people's wrestling schedule is kind of full, right? Mm-hmm. So I think NXT only exists because it's such a quality program. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's something they can achieve with 205 Live. I think 205 Live is more of an extra feature for somebody else who really, really wants to delve into the wrestling.
Yeah.
I think...
Something I saw that was really cool that reminded me of 205 Live is someone called 205 Live the bonus features on the DVD. Like, oh, the purple ropes are up, you know. All right, what do I have to go around to the back? It's like how, like, the Divas used to be. Oh, Divas are on. What do I have to do? Oh, the purple ropes are up. All right, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to walk my dog. I got to go outside. I got to smoke a cigarette. Yeah. You know, whatever it is they had to do. Once the purple ropes are on, you know it's not it doesn't mean anything to the main roster. It doesn't mean anything to the show.
Yeah, and that's what it ends up happening because you see that and it's the same thing as they have the little promos on SmackDown, right? So they have like Neville or whoever just come up and like say what they're gonna do on 205 Live tonight, and that's that. So yeah, I mean it's not necessarily a slight to them. They're very talented people.
It's just a position I think the show is in.
Yes, it is. It's the interest of the fan, right?
Yeah, I think you're throwing so much product at the fan, and you're trying to get like I look at this like Disney has so much to offer, but the Disney fan base is so much wider than the WWE fan base that you can offer Cinderella, but you can also offer Star Wars. You know what I mean? Whereas
it's a small subsection of people who are gonna watch cruiserweights.
Yeah, exactly.
And enjoy.
You're not getting enough to generate probably profit out of it that you can run live events, that you can sell T-shirts, you can sell. I just don't think it's profitable. But I understand it's an experiment. I mean, I love the show.
I think their schedule's weird.
Yeah, I think also 10 o'clock at Tuesday nights is kind of a weird timing.
Plus, aren't they're recorded with SmackDown or something?
They're recorded after SmackDown, so after 3 hours or 2.5 hours of a crowd being absolutely drained of all their energy. Oh, let's watch a show probably half of you are not invested in or don't know any of the characters.
And then you have the weird little roster split. So these guys are going to have to tour with Raw and SmackDown and somehow make it work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So it's Raw and SmackDown in two different towns.
Yeah, I saw something.
One day, one another.
Yeah, I think you to fix one of the things I think that you need to not fix 205 Live, but put it in a better position that it's in now is you put it on before SmackDown and you keep it at a half hour for now. I really don't think you need 3 or 4 matches on 205 Live. I think, the top people of the Cruiserweight division should be showcased, and if you can squeeze in a little segue to move someone up the card of the Cruiserweight division, capitalize on that hot crowd right away. Every single live event I've ever gone to, the first match, no matter who it was, got the biggest pops, generated the most heat because everyone's there. WWE is getting started. Let's get excited. I remember, I went to
making it a live event show.
Like being filmed at live events?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's such a different crowd at live events, I think. Like,
I've never been, so that's...
Yeah, when I went to the live event, I remember just being like there was a lot of families, but I think you can also capitalize on the families, too, because the kids, the good crowd reactions.
You got Tozawa screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility. I just don't know how they would run having a camera crew at live events. I don't know if they have their own camera crew, I'm sure, that travels, but I know, like, they'll do
it with an iPhone.
Run it on the iPhone. like we write our shitty podcast.
Yeah.
With one microphone.
With a MacBook Air.
If they can do it, we can do it. But yeah, I don't know. I think doing it right at 7 when the show starts, capitalize on that hot crowd. I think it's definitely a good way to get people excited about the show. I remember going to a WWE event at the Garden, and I think it was a Monday Night Raw, I think.
Yeah.
And the biggest pop of the night was Alex Riley in a dark match versus, I don't even remember who he was facing. But I remember the pop Alex Riley got was insane. Because he was the first person to come out. Everyone's like,
hype.
Yes, the show's getting started. So I think putting 205 Live in the beginning would really help gain that interest. And, crowd makes a match, So half the reason why I think no one's invested in the crowd or have invested in the match is because the crowd is absolutely dead. If they don't care, I don't care. If the crowd's getting up to go to the bathroom, they don't care, I don't care.
Yeah, a dead crowd is definitely going to ruin the product, in my opinion. So what do you... See, because the thing is, I know why they're trying to do this. I kind of get it, I think, at least, right? So you have Raw and SmackDown starting at the same time. There's a little bit of a unity there.
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock hits, it's wrestling time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 205 Live go on before that. You're kind of breaking that, right?
I think it doesn't have to be 205 Live. I don't think it has to be live. I know the names 205 Live. A simple name change. I just think putting it on at
before.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying with the 10 o'clock spot itself. Once SmackDown's over, SmackDown's over. You know, I'm done with wrestling for the night. I know that once 10 o'clock hits, SmackDown's over. Once 11:07 hits or whatever the hell it is that night, Monday Night Raw is over.
I think 205 Live is for that niche crowd, right? So it's the extension of the NXT crowd. In one way, you have because NXT itself is small compared to the whole universe.
Mhm.
So I think 205 Live is sort of an extension of that. So it's an even smaller subsection of that. So you have like the small guys.
Yep.
That's what this is about. And you have NXT, which is like the guys who are going to be the big guys, and that's the big leagues.
And the Brits.
Yeah, and the Brits. Oh, yeah, the Brits somewhere kind of thrown in there too.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the divisions. I just don't think it's what wrestling should be about. But I think it's like WWE's starting to get over their heads with all these different what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with an S and it means breaking down something. Subsections of a giant product. Like now you have the women's tournament coming up, and I'm assuming that means we're probably going to get some women's show on the network eventually. And then I know we're getting like the Latin American tournament and all these different country tournaments.
They're casting a net, I think. They're trying to grab as many people as they can, right? So the product now isn't just one centralized massive product. That still exists, but I think a lot of it has to do with if you like women wrestling, then there's this thing. If you like high-flying wrestling, then there's this thing. If you like that indie vibe, then watch NXT. Yeah. If you want that mainstream stuff, we got Monday Night Raw, we got SmackDown, which is a little bit more experimental, and it depends how off the mainstream you want to go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to capture as many people as possible because, maybe ratings are down. Maybe they're not making as much money on the network. I can't say for a fact on these things, but I think they're just trying to cast the net and get as much stuff for the network as possible. Makes it more viable as a business. Right?
Bayley's Sideburns.
Bayley's Sideburns, man.
I just had to throw that in. I agree with you. I had to throw it in. Bayley's
it was so bad.
Sideburns. I never noticed it until you said something. You're like, look at her sideburns. And I was like,
they're vicious.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Gotta deal with those sideburns. That's the name of the episode. Bayley's Sideburns.
It needs to exist.
I was hoping something more genuine would come, but in my head I'm like, nope. Bayley's Sideburns.
All right, that was a bit of a tangent we just went on there. So what do we have next? Getting back to the...
Well, we started talking. We didn't even say what the Cruiserweight Championship match was going to be.
So what do you think it's going to be?
I'm thinking Cedric Alexander steps up. I mean, it was a match we haven't seen yet. As a guy we haven't been exposed to as much. I'm assuming Cedric Alexander's going to step up, win some, Fatal 5-Way or Battle Royal or one-on-one match on 205 Live to become the next number one contender. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to get Cedric Alexander, Neville quick rivalry as one of just like a transitional rivalry before we get to something a little bit bigger.
Yeah. You think what? You thinking,
I'm thinking probably maybe 2 or more one-on-one cruiserweight rivalries between Neville and someone else.
And Aleister Black.
Maybe a TJ Perkins rivalry because he's owed that championship match that he said if he took out Austin Aries. So now I'm assuming like a TJ Perkins or TJP to step up. TJP. And then maybe probably Aleister Black, who's currently weighing in at 205 on the dot. And
I almost feel like that's a missed opportunity putting him in there.
I think it is, but I think it's also that it's like has that Austin Aries effect. Like the cruiserweight division has been 10 times more interesting to me ever since they put in Austin Aries.
So it worked.
It worked, absolutely. I think it worked for me. For me personally, yes, it worked. Uh-huh. And I think putting Aleister Black in there after Neville has topped the entire division.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it works. But I'm assuming Aleister Black is going to be the culmination of the Neville experience as our reigning champion. And then probably maybe we'll get an Austin Aries heel turn.
Okay. Feuding with Jack Gallagher.
Yep. And then hopefully maybe sometime earlier next year when they do the Superstar Shakeup, they pull like Black or Aries out of the division, move them to SmackDown. I think that's the best thing to do.
Okay. Talk about the shakeup. Do you think we're getting an official draft at some point?
No, Vince McMahon doesn't like the term draft.
No.
It's old. Old is cool. I don't get... Like, he doesn't want WrestleMania numbers because they're old.
But how does that make any sense, right? So he doesn't like that it's old, but the next pay-per-view is called Great Balls of Fire, and it's advertised as the 1950s.
That's old. I don't know, man.
Where's the logic?
I was told that Vince McMahon... I was told by my sources... They sent me a text message...
Was it Marty?
It wasn't Marty, our special guest interview with Marty Jannetty.
Potentially.
Yeah, within the next few weeks, if If he answers his goddamn phone. I don't even know what was old?
The draft.
Oh, yeah, the draft. The word draft is old, I guess, or the terminology draft is old.
I think it's so relevant.
It is. The NFL draft was just 2 weeks ago, and it was high ratings. A lot of people were there. It was outside. It was in Philadelphia. It was nice. I think WWE is missing the opportunity on so many different things they can do right now. Doing a draft, having people come draft guys up from NXT. Even if it's 5 people from each roster. I think...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe 2 from Switch and then 2 from NXT. And make it feel different. Like, don't make it feel like it's on Raw this week. It's the Superstar Shakeup. Use the network you have to expand your product to stuff that relates to the main roster. Have a WWE draft special. You can have a Brock Lesnar special in Japan at 6 in the morning. Why would you not have a WWE draft special? Tune in for 25 minutes to a half hour at your own schedule. Who's going where?
You can have the supplemental draft just happen there too.
They have a headquarters.
Yes.
Put it in a fake office. Oh, this guy got drafted here. That's how you use the network correctly, I think. I think the Superstar Shakeup was done so poorly. I think it could have been done so much better.
It was just a swap.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, this guy showed up here out of the blue. Like, it was exciting, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it was predictable.
It was predictable, yes.
It was all the guys who won championships on SmackDown went to Raw. All the guys that weren't really thriving on Raw went to SmackDown.
Yeah, and you're left with the same situation where you have this bloated, it's almost too deep of a roster on Raw, and then SmackDown has this bare bones skeleton of a roster, and you end up always having these same 5 people, right, at the top card. So you always have Baron Corbin, you always have Dolph Ziggler, and now you have AJ Styles, and you have, maybe like Shinsuke Nakamura just debuted, so there you go, and then Kevin Owens and all this stuff, and it's just kind of like the same top
Everyone
guys.
else falls through the crack.
Boom.
The problem is, like, Monday Night Raw is too long, and SmackDown is too short. So I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I can't.
What logic was that?
I can't create an hour between 2 and 3 hours, but I guess I can.
I just think they need to take some people out of Monday Night Raw and throw them into SmackDown. And the 3 hours of Raw, it's not for me, but I've seen a lot of good reasoning behind it. I think Paul Heyman might have made the best point about it.
I think it was JBL.
Maybe it was JBL who made a really good point about it, and you can't argue with it. If it makes money, it makes money.
Yeah, on the show that shits on all the internet fans.
Oh yeah, that's
Bring
true.
it to the table.
I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, so there's our mess of a Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. I think it's gonna be a good show, but only time will tell. I'm
excited for Samoa Joe
in the next week before we get another pay-per-view.
Boom. It's another how long? How long to the next not Raw pay-per-view? How long till
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Money in the Bank. 2 weeks.
Money in the Bank.
July, first week of July, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think first week of July.
All right. We'll definitely talk about that next podcast then.
Maybe next week if someone listens to us next week.
So you heard it here. Support us, and we could talk about.
We can talk more
about another pay-per-view.
Help us buy a second microphone,
please.
Want to debate? I want to fight you. I want to fight you.
This is not a topic I like.
And I want to fight everyone.
This isn't a topic I want to talk about, but you're so passionate about it.
I'm so passionate.
Jinder Mahal,
our
WWE,
glorious WWE champion.
World Heavyweight Champion.
Our WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Even though it was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, then WWE World Championship. Now he's the WWE Champion.
Semantics. Jinder Mahal.
The Maharaja. I love him.
All right. So
what is your opening argument as to why you cannot get behind a Jinder Mahal title reign? Explain it to me.
He's just not entertaining to me. That's it.
Were you not entertained by his championship victory out of the blue? Were you not entertained by Randy Orton tossing around his cronies on the table?
That was cool. But that was Randy and his cronies, right?
And him getting in that weird finisher out of nowhere and shocking us.
No. I didn't like it. I get why he's champion, don't get me wrong. I understand he's a hard worker on his hard body and his clean piss.
Clean piss Mahal.
But I don't find him entertaining. I find him to be a cookie-cutter heel. I'll say this much. I loved the celebration. That was very cool.
Oh, so entertaining.
It was. The celebration was genuinely entertaining, but the second he opened his mouth, it goes away because he's a cook. He's Alberto Del Rio, but he's Indian. He's an investment that WWE made, cheaply, mind you, to open up a market in a different country that they're going to be touring soon because it'll make them more money. And that's smart by them, but it's not good for me as a product because I don't find it entertaining. Am I going to watch it? Yeah, probably. I've been watching wrestling forever. I watched wrestling when it was shitty in 2009 when you loved it.
2009. That's what we're going to do on the next podcast. The top 10 rivalries of 2009 with, like, Chris Jericho and Bob Barker. Evan Bourne.
With the snipping of the testicles, I remember that.
Evan Bourne, we're going to get.
Air
Boom versus The Miz and Big Show.
Yeah,
wait, hold on. Was.
So let's go back. You tell me why you think Jinder... And this is an opinion-based thing, so you can't...
Well, I can win. I've just been so genuinely behind Jinder Mahal ever since he got traded to SmackDown. I watched the Talking Smack segment, and he said, "No one on the roster works harder than me. Give me a few weeks. Watch me do what I'm about to do." They announced this weird Fatal 5-Way match that you all assume Luke Harper's going to win or Dolph Ziggler or something. And out of nowhere, the guy that didn't win a freaking match in 2006, 17, and 2016 is #1 contender. It's cool. Anything can happen. I asked you the same thing before. When was the last time you were genuinely shocked someone was WWE champion? And I couldn't really think about it besides maybe, Sheamus in 2011 or The Miz in 2010. Everything else has been relatively predictable. Now, I'm not saying
Seth Rollins winning was predictable when he cashed in at WrestleMania.
No, I think absolutely it was predictable. I'm saying Seth Rollins winning the championship was predictable. He was gonna win it at some point. He was Triple H's guy.
You're saying some guy whose career trajectory was going towards that.
Yes.
Okay, that wasn't Sheamus either.
Exactly. He won it in a tables match out of nowhere and won a #1 contenders battle royal where none of the winners have ever been WWE champion. And Randy Orton. It was advertised.
No, listen, that's very cool. That's
cool. Why
I'm just saying Jinder Mahal as a entertainer is not entertaining to me. I think the idea of it is fantastic. I love the idea, but I mean, I would have much rather it be Curtis Axel, right? You would too.
Skull Axel Skull. Skull Axel Skull.
Like
I just think I don't know. I like the Indian heat. I like
the Indian heat.
The
curry fire.
Yeah, the curry fire, the spice. Yeah. I like that he's working hard on his body. I like that a guy has transferred his life around completely. Look at him in 3MB. He's fat. He was so fat. He's two completely different people now. Yes. I love the non-American hate. I think that's awesome. And I think his promo skills and I think his ring skills are getting better and better by the week. I think this is going to lead to an awesome rivalry between John Cena and Jinder Mahal that's going to get everyone fired up about America.
That's going to be good.
Exactly.
I can see that being good. I just don't think he's entertaining where he's at right now.
I think he is entertaining where he's at right now. I think
the
fact that people are talking, no one was talking about Jinder Mahal the way people are talking about Alberto Del Rio, or no one was talking about Alberto Del Rio the same way we're talking about Jinder Mahal right now. And no one was saying, this is insane, this is new, Alberto Del Rio won the WWE title, this is going to be crazy. Everyone on the internet right now is talking about, like, what the hell, and that is good. Getting people to say, what the hell, getting people confused, getting people like, what the hell's going to happen. It's exciting. It's entertaining.
That's what I said. It's good for business.
When Alberto Del Rio won the title, Alberto Del Rio won the title at Hell in a Cell. What? We expected it.
No one wanted him to, right?
Exactly. No one wanted him to win the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, no. I'm not speaking to that. I'm speaking to the fact that he's just not entertaining. It's a crazy thing that happened. I get it. It's got everyone talking. That's a good thing, right?
Which makes it entertaining.
I don't think it's entertaining to me. It's entertaining to you, right?
I think it's entertaining to everyone.
See, but it's entertaining in the same sense that, like, Roman Reigns is entertaining, right? So, like, it's like, it's bad, but it's bad in not a good way. So, like, John Cena, when he was, like, at the height of everyone despising him, like, before CM Punk showed up and, like, made it good, it was unbearable, right? So, yeah, he had a lot of heat, and he had a lot of, crowd reaction, and it was overwhelmingly negative, and you could say maybe that's a good thing. But at one point or another, like, I stopped watching wrestling because I was just so sick of the whole John Cena thing. And that's me right now. Like, I see Jinder Mahal come out, and I might as well change the channel. It's not really something I want to watch.
But
it gets me fired up talking to it because I care more about the product than I care about Jinder Mahal. But
yeah, so
it's doing more damage than good to me as a fan.
I don't know how to argue your opinion. I can't argue your opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think overall he's doing good overall. I think the coolest statement I heard was it's a world championship. So why shouldn't it be a little more world?
I like that.
Why is it always white guys? I don't know.
It's a world championship, not a race championship.
the WWE race championship.
Yes, you can't repeat the race on the title back to back.
Well, no, it should be more worldly. It should have people from
that, and I do think that the
Europe.
NXT
It should have people from India. It should have people from Japan.
we got a Japan guy lined up.
Yeah, and that's cool. I like it. It's like it's the world. It's cool.
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
entertaining. It's what's gonna happen next. It's entertaining.
No, I don't think he's entertaining. I think maybe the whole situation might be. I don't fucking know. No, he's not entertaining to me as an entertainer, personally speaking.
I can't argue that.
That's okay. I will say that as far as world championship goes, I agree with you. I think that the world title should be more worldly. The NXT championship probably is the...
There has not been one American NXT champion since I believe Bo Dallas. It went Neville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. So you got Britain, Canada. Then after Kevin Owens, who was it? Who beat Kevin Owens? Finn Balor, Ireland. Who beat Finn Balor?
Shinsuke?
No,
Joe?
Samoa Joe. Samoa.
He's American, I guess, but he's
Southern
Samoan.
California, but
yeah.
Then after Samoa Joe, you got Shinsuke Nakamura, and now you got Bobby Roode, Canada. There has not been an American NXT champion, and it's cool. The title was defended in Japan, and Finn Balor was there, and basically they hyped up to be Japan as his second home, and it just makes the title feel more prestigious.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what I'm saying. Jinder Mahal should hold on to this title until they go to India.
Oh,
and they should have a big show in India.
They already did it, so now they gotta. I think they should.
They have to fully invest in it. Why have him win the world title to lose it to John Cena, to face John Cena in September in a bunch of live events in India, to just lose to him?
I will say this much. I agree with you completely. Wrestling is huge in India. They love these people. We had that great Khali talk about how he's definitely one of the most recognized people in the world, just because everyone in India knows him. It's 1.3 billion people.
I said he's the.
Yeah, you did say that. That's
but
wrong.
Your argument with Jesus.
Jesus took the cake on that one.
Jesus,
Hitler.
the great Hitler, the great Khali. Top three most recognizable people on the planet.
Look it up. I dare you.
Bing it.
Bing it. So I was gonna say, you see the NXT title, right? And you have all these guys that, aren't American. And you see the WWE, like you were talking about, expanding into these different international territories. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of
went full circle.
Yeah, we did. And
it just went full circle.
Yeah, and it just kind of dawned on me right now that maybe it speaks to what wrestling is becoming in America. I think maybe that says wrestling isn't as big here as it used to be, right? Mm-hmm. Because what's kind of the drive of wrestling? You watch it as a kid. Yep. You look at it, you say, this inspires me.
Yep.
Good. Now you get past that barrier where you find out it's fake, and that's the make it or break it point. Am I going to be a fan forever, or am I going to fucking quit?
Yep.
So you're a fan now, and then one point or another, it snaps on you and says, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. And I think that might not be happening enough in America, where you're getting enough good talent out of these people. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why you're seeing. So if NXT is the future, and so far the champion of NXT, which is arguably the best of the NXT, has not been American, does that say that the future of wrestling is not American? And maybe...
Well, it just comes to the thing where I feel like you have television... You're going to say WWE television is going to remain on America.
Oh, yeah, it
in
is
America
for a while.
prominently for probably the rest of its course on television. So,
but I can see a slow movement where, like, they're starting to bring in more revenue from the rest of the world, and maybe America's still going to be the bulk of it, but I think we're going to see a lot of, like...
America's going to be more of the where everyone
There's a stagnation. There's a stagnation in America, and there's a vast growth outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that's where we see maybe a lot of these other guys in other countries are getting inspired. So maybe we'll see a lot more Indian wrestlers come in now, right?
No, I'm fine with just Jinder Mahal.
What do you mean, man? No, now you dive in full steam ahead, bro.
I'm fine with just Jinder Mahal.
Okay, well, what about the Bollywood boys?
I like them. But they're
That's
an expansion of Jinder Mahal.
No more Indians. They love it. They're smart people.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. That was in poor taste of me. No, I don't know. I don't know. That's my thought. Jinder Mahal is entertaining. Click of the pen. Jinder Mahal is entertaining.
To you. To a lot of people. I'm sorry. Jinder Mahal is very entertaining to a lot of people.
How about if I reword it and I say Jinder Mahal is grabbing everyone's attention? Jinder Mahal is the most talked about thing in WWE right now.
Is he?
I'd say so.
Let me think on that for a second.
You're not going to find anyone.
Let me ponder.
You're not going to find anything that's more talked about.
No, I think you're right on that. Jinder Mahal is the most talked thing about in, like, consistently. Yeah, maybe not tonight. Maybe tonight we'll talk about some more Joe, but
maybe probably since Chris Jericho left.
But since Chris Jericho, even maybe before that, because there was the lead up. People kind of knew, right? Like, even though they didn't know, like, everyone kind of expected a little bit of a push to come to Jinder Mahal. Maybe not as big, but we knew...
No, I expected him to float around the mid-card on SmackDown for a while, you know, like a long, unnecessary feud with Mojo Rawley or something.
For India, right?
Yeah, exactly, to get him on television, you know, expose that market.
Hype him up. It was good. I like it.
So it's entertaining.
I don't think he's entertaining.
Can something be good and not entertaining?
Yes.
I don't know. If something's good, I'm entertained by it. It's good.
No, it's good for the business.
It's not good for you, though.
It's not good for me. And I have to accept, and I think a lot of people have to accept that what they want sometimes isn't what's entertaining. Not to sound like bitch-ass Triple H. No, I shouldn't call him a bitch-ass. But not to sound like Triple H and cliche. A lot of times,
best for
business isn't what's best for you.
Ah. I see what you did there. I'm just happy about the full circle that we made with the we're talented.
Yeah, no. I think we have a future in this. I'm just kidding.
You want to call it a wrap there?
Yeah, I think we got it.
This thing counts in seconds.
It does count in seconds. I think 1,800 seconds is about a half hour, so...
We're at 20 minutes?
It's only been like 25.
Oh, wait, we started this thing at 11:45.
No, we did it. That's 1,600 seconds, right?
Yep.
How many seconds in a minute? 60?
I don't know.
60, dude. Yeah, like 25 minutes.
Dude, let's hold on for 4 more minutes.
This isn't even a podcast anymore. We're just talking about time.
It's the segment about time. So, we'll just...
Like, the time is running out for Jinder Mahal to...
No, he's going to help
make a real, lasting impression on his career instead of just being another investment that gets dumped a few years later like Alberto Del Rio. If Jinder Mahal is ever going to listen to the podcast, this is the time. Make a bigger impact than Del Rio. That's all I'm saying.
Listen to Jinder Mahal talk, and you can literally, it just sounds like he is reading bullet points.
Exactly.
Like, this, pause. This, pause.
There is nothing that he's doing that is, it's very structured by someone else that isn't him.
Yeah, because I remember I was listening to another podcast with him that was not as good as ours. But,
exactly.
And he was saying that he had a completely different idea when he won the number one contenders match. The promo was supposed to say, I was going to try to be peaceful, but you guys wouldn't work with me. And then Vince changed it to... Yeah, Vince changed it to anti-America.
I like his idea better.
Yeah, he said he just tried to... Because remember he had the peace thing for a while? He tried to be peaceful with everyone?
With the hand?
Yep. So he said, I tried to be peaceful, but you guys wouldn't work with me.
Oh my god.
But Vince McMahon said, no, let's do anti-America.
Okay, Vince McMahon ruins wrestling. I think.
Don't be that person.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't be that
he
person.
made wrestling, so he can't. If he wants to ruin it, it's his.
He can kill it.
Yeah, literally. He can
Didn't he say poison?
the NWO. No, but I think if he kind of gets a little bit of leeway to do whatever he wants.
They need to push the envelope. They need to push the envelope, in my opinion.
Give him some freedom.
Yeah. I like what you said. I like the peaceful thing. I think it was so cool when he came on and said, that would have been cool. I tried to be peaceful with you guys. Because when he won that title, you almost knew right away, all right, we're going to get a huge anti-American thing. Which is cool. I'm into it, but all of a sudden, if you add an extra layer to it, with the I tried to be peaceful.
You're not just snapping straight through it, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if you add more character depth to Jinder Mahal, yeah, he's also trying to, bring the title back to India, or to India for the first time and trying to unite the Indian people and speak to them in their language. But at the same time, this all stems back from how he tried to be peaceful with everyone in America for the longest time, and no one gave him any credit.
And that's so politicky too, right? So it's a clear decision by management to not upset the base so much. So, what he's saying right now, he's a clear bad guy, right? Yep. So it's easy to hate him. But if he said something like, oh, I try to be peaceful with you, then the bad guys now isn't Jinder Mahal, it's the fans.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
which is cool. I think that adds...
It is cool, but I think it upsets the balance almost. It's like, oh, we're upsetting the base for the sake of India, and maybe people won't like that. It just comes off as politicky to me.
I almost think that the whole storyline itself has come off as politicky. Do you think... how are you coming, from the perspective of someone that's in India right now, the person representing India as your champion, their only thing to them is that they badmouth the United States of America. I think Jinder Mahal's character needs, more depth and less badmouth the United States of America.
Yeah,
and
I think to Del Rio him.
Yeah, absolutely. Del Rio was just the pride of Mexico.
That's it.
That was it.
He was just some random rich dude from Mexico that showed up and talked about Mexico. And then some other Mexican came in and said he wasn't Mexican, and the whole thing happened. But
did that happen?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio.
Oh, he wasn't truly Mexican. He didn't know what it was like to be Mexican.
He doesn't represent Mexico or some shit like that.
I thought he said he wasn't Mexican.
No, maybe
definitely Mexican.
No, not really. You're not an American, but you're
oh, I'm American. You're not a true American. You don't know what it's like to be Mexican.
Boom. Yeah. Or maybe it was Sin Cara, but he definitely went against both of them. Both Negro and Azul.
Sin Cara Negro. Hideous. Was it Azul who was hideous? No, it was Sin Cara Negro.
It was Sin Cara Negro who was hideous.
Hideous.
Booker T.
Ugh. Alright, I'm finishing it off with top 5 most misused wrestlers from the history of 2007 to 2010. Hunico, Alex Riley, Camacho, Jack Swagger, and Curtis Axel as Michael McGillicuddy.
I'm not gonna add it. I don't agree with that list, and I'm not gonna add it.
Hunico was sick. He came around the bike.
Yeah, remember? And then Michael Cole was like, "Oh, they trick out his bike." He's like, "Oh yeah, I know so much about their culture because I'm from Texas."
Yeah, it was cool, And then he had the flag match with Ted DiBiase, another unrated guy, and he's with the kids now.
He's doing backflips with the kids.
At soccer camp. All right, well, let's call that a rant. You can follow us on Instagram because we don't have any other social media yet. At Turnbuckle Boys.
Turnbuckle Boys?
Episode 1, Bayley's Sideburns.
That's what it is.
Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned for hopefully more podcasts.